This is the Buffalo Broadcast Texas High School Athletics Coaching Show.
Please, it'll just take a minute.
Coach, I'm trying.
Because if you can't do, teach. And if you can't teach phys ed.
Special teams, go with Flora Fran, do some laps.
Hey Buffs, it's Grady Tucker, senior tight end for your Haltom Buffaloes. I just want to invite all current students at Haltom to Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We meet every other Monday evenings after practices are finished around 6 p.m. Come to enjoy some free food, games, a biblical devotion, and a time of fellowship with other students. For more info, follow us at Haltom FCA on Instagram for specific dates and times, and we just hope to see you there. Go Buffs!
And welcome to the Haltom Buffaloes Coaches Show. Brad the Bruiser Eichhorn here as we welcome in Coach Tucker. Coach, thanks for joining us here on this Sunday evening.
Good to be with you.
All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Friday's game. Obviously not the outcome we would have wanted on the scoreboard, falling to Lake Ridge by a final score of 34-26. Go ahead and break this game down for us.
Well, we got off to a really good start. So, when the game started, we executed pretty well on both sides of the ball. Then we had a very unfortunate turnover, and you hear coaches talk about turnovers all the time, and to me, turnovers were a big difference in the game. Our opponent forced 3, we only forced 1, and we ended up losing an 8-point game. And we're me included, the whole team, the whole staff, we're all very disappointed in this loss. We feel like we had a chance, had a tight one, tight game, and if we make just a few less mistakes here and there, that was a very winnable game that we let slip away.
Yeah, let's talk about some really strong performance in this game. First is your quarterback there. He only threw for 55 yards, but 87 yards on the ground. He helped engineer the offense. Keenan Jackson had a big day rushing the football there, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground there. Michael Turner had a couple catches in this one. Roberson, had a couple catches in this one. At least starting with the offensive side of the ball and some highlights out of this game where, it's tough with the final score of a loss there, but obviously some very good production out of your team. And I understand why you're upset in this one.
Yeah. We were very happy with the offense. We thought the offense took as a coach, I keep thinking about the turnovers. If you take away the turnovers, we thought our offense took a big leap forward from week 1 to week 2. We were able to run for over 300 yards. We had over 400 yards of total offense. We feel like, we left at least 7, if not 14 points out there because of the turnovers. And we feel like if we eliminate the turnovers, we're scoring over 40 points with over 400 yards of offense. So a lot of good signs there. We just got getting the red zone. We got to be more careful with the ball. But I do like what our offense did this week. We were able to get more formations. We were able to go from a tight bot with a lot of people in the box to getting in some spread formations, going back and forth. And, I really liked what Coach Gilbert, offensive coordinator, did going in with the game plan last week. And it showed our kids can do a lot of things right now.
How about defensively? What are some takeaways you have here from your defense in this game?
Defensively, early in the first quarter, we played pretty well. And then it was defensively, as far as the rest of the game went, it was, we'd have stretches. We had 2 straight stops in the second half. Then we'd give up a drive. So it was kind of like it was very, very up and down. There'd be fairly good stretches of the game where we're playing pretty good defense. And then all of a sudden, where it seems like we're taking turns making mistakes. And, we never could get things quite as consistent as we wanted. We did force the fumble early. We had a chance at a couple other interceptions we couldn't quite catch. And then we had probably 3 major mental busts that contributed to our loss also. But again, up and down on defensively, we do feel like we have enough stretches where we can show the team that if we're a little more consistent, just from a mental standpoint, we can get to where we're good, a good defensive football team. And right now we're not there yet, but we have shown some flashes, some signs to maybe be hopeful that we can get that straightened out and get that done.
All right, let's go ahead and get into some film study here as Coach Tucker joins us from his office here. Coach, go ahead and take us to some film highlights from this game.
Okay. I'm going to skip around a little bit here. We'll go through some of the defense first. is Jaden Davis, does a good job right here. Just coming off the short edge here. Filling this hole between their H-back. Fitting up on the running back right there, right in the hole. Get a good stop there. We got a lot of guys running the ball early. That was a 1 yard gain there. Our other inside backer, Damian Bates, does a great job here being patient. We've got the pass flash here, and then the quarterback pulls it down. We've got Damian Bates coming off the backside edge to turn him back into Jaden. So both our inside backers had solid games for us. Damian Bates had over 10 tackles. He was our defensive player of the game. This is one of the reasons why, this play right here. Oh, let me get a better angle on this one. I'll take some of these notes over here. Brian Connors does a good job getting over the top of this one. Did a really good job. He wishes he could have had that one back as far as the interception goes. We got him in coverage right there, prevented the deep ball. He did a good job there. Brian Connors had another solid game for us. He also blocked the extra point. I don't know if I've got that one on the list, but Brian was our special teams player of the week as well. Here we get one of our tackles for a loss. It's in the second quarter. Cole Mayfield did a great job, really winning his one-on-one matchup here, pushing the O-lineman back. That really gets in the running back's lap, which was great. He was able to get a hold of the running back, and then Jaden and Damian coming to finish him off. That was one of our 4 tackles for losses on the night. This play right here, Coach Swan called a blitz here with our outside backer at the top of the screen. Logan Lane comes in, does a good job getting another. Well, this is a 1 yard gain, but a great play for the defense right here. We get a lot of hats to the ball here also. Is Damian Bates making another play. We flush the quarterback out of the pocket. We have pretty good coverage on this play. Quarterback pulls it down. Damian does a great job coming up, making a decent open field tackle on a quarterback. That was a big third down play. We got to change possession here on this one. So in the third quarter when it was still a 2-point game, so we got the ball back with a chance here. Couldn't capitalize on it. That was a good series by our defense there. So really good coverage here on this deep post by Amari. Their offense configured the formation to get a one-on-one matchup here. We had our safety tight to the box because this was in the fourth quarter. We were playing a little tighter, trying to get the ball back. So that puts Amari out on an island here. He does a good job staying on top of this post, and he's right there to break the pass up. That was also another one of those that, if we time things a little different, maybe we can get a pick there. But it was great coverage by Amari there. Another good play by Jaden Davis, number 10 here. He kind of got everything wadded up on the pile. He does a good job scraping over the top, fitting up on the running back, and then we get a lot of hats to the ball there. And I think, as you watch some of these highlights we're showing, obviously we're not showing the negative ones, but if you see this, how well we're playing on a lot of these plays. And, that's one of the things we got to get better at. We just got to get consistent, because here's another great play for us in the run game. And we get everybody firing on all cylinders and consistent. I think we're going to be pretty good. This is on to the offensive side. I don't know if you want me to go ahead and go into the offensive highlights right now also.
Absolutely, Coach. Yeah, go right into it.
Okay. This is really our base run play. Our Coach Gilbert's done a great job working with our guys. We run it out of a bunch of different formations, so we were able to run this out of shotgun right here. You got, if anybody's an old school football fan, this is just the old buck sweep. You get both guards pulling around the edge. They do a great job. You know, if you've seen the old NFL highlight films, you talk about getting a seal here and a seal here. That's right here through this alley. Kane Snead does a great job finding the alley and getting through it. And just a really good job. We feel our O-line played really, really well this week. Made a good leap forward from week one. We feel that was led by our two guards, Jose Lopez and Angel Padilla. They had great games, both of them. Now here, this is the really the same play. Really the same play. Coach Gilbert gives our quarterback the option to sometimes read this and pull it. And so it's really the same play here, but Dom pulls the ball out. We get into a nice gain off basically the same play. And Dom's able to get us 30 yards there on the run. Now on this one we did not block as well as we should have, but this goes back to our player of the game, Keenan Jackson, just doing a great job, being a good playmaker, being very careful, getting some yards after contact, and then using his speed to get around the edge. This is a really good run by Keenan. And we really liked the way he finished off his runs the other night, going forward, getting yards after contact, being really physical. Lakers had done a good job on our trap series, and then we finally got this trap going late in the game. Here's another touchdown for Keenan. He did a good job running through a little bit of traffic there and making sure he found the end zone. This is a really good play here. Our wing back, Coach Kane Snead's one of our running backs. We'll line him up in that wing here on the top sometimes. And we were able to run a little bit of a wing back trap here. The D-line gets really good penetration, but our tight end does a great job of keeping his eyes up, and he's able to see that and get the block to keep this play from being disastrous right here. So Grady Tucker does a good job getting that block there. Kane does a good job getting underneath it. And then Jose gets just enough of that guy to let Kane get in the end zone. Another good trap play right here. Angel Padilla does a really good job on our trap block here. Number 53 pulls, gets at least a stalemate right there. We get a stalemate here, and our nose guard and our other guard get great movement on the nose guard. That allows this crease here. Keenan's able to run straight down the middle. He gets a nice gain here for us. Really good lead block here by our tight end. We put him in the backfield as an H-back spot here. We get a good lead block on number 3 right here. Kind of wish we would have got a little lower, but still a really good hit, really good physical run. We get 9 yards on this. And again, there's Keenan, again, getting way more than 2 or 3 yards after contact. Did a really good job all night with that. There's a 4th and 3 play right here. We got both guards pulling around. We got Dom following him up in there. We get 8 yards on a 4th and 3. Really nice play by the O-line and by Dom on this. I got a couple more I didn't have on the list we're going to go through real quick. Just be patient with me. Sorry about that.
Ken, you're watching the Halton Buffaloes Coaches Show here as we joined by here Halton Buffaloes varsity football coach Jason Tucker, looking at some of the film here from Friday night's loss. A tough loss, no doubt, to Lake Ridge. Final score 34-26.
Here we run a drop back pass. We're in trips here in the shotgun. Dom does a good job. We got a pretty clean pocket from the O-line. He's able to get it off before we get a little bit of leakage there. That's a good catch by Federico Roberson there in the middle of the field on the dig route. This is another thing, from week 1 to week 2, this was something we had stressed all week. We want to be able to get the ball outside quick if our opponents are playing off coverage and get some good yardage here. So we're able to throw it out there and get upfield in a hurry and get some nice yardage. It's the Matthew Turner here. He did a good job. He did a good job what you want the receivers to do. Just get the ball and get vertical. Not a lot of dancing. He got 3 or 4 yards after contact also. All of our skill guys did a great job of that the other night, getting the ball and getting vertical. This is basically the same play later in the game to Matthew Turner again. This is one of those plays that doesn't work out. Tell you what, I'm going to go the title on this one. Doesn't work out like you draw it up, but Don Mudavong did a great job of staying patient with what was going on. He waited, then flicked it out there to Keenan. Keenan was able to get in the end zone. This is just a little bit different version of that play I showed with Matthew getting it earlier, and this time we're throwing it out here to Federico Roberson. He gets a nice little gain there. Yeah, on the other highlight I had teed up that Coach Gilbert gave me, I didn't have the passes on there. Sorry about that.
No, not a problem here.
But that's all the highlights I had queued up.
All right. Any other thoughts on this game before we go ahead and looking forward to this weekend's game versus Boswell?
Yeah, we talked to the team on Saturday, and you could tell that the kids are very disappointed. And as a coach, when they're disappointed, you want to drive home the fact that, hey, we are disappointed, but let's make sure this fuels us so we can learn from this. And everyone's way more disappointed because week 1, there's a little bit larger margin, and we played the game was what it was, but this one we really felt we let it slip away. So hopefully we learn from that. When we have a chance, when we have a lead, we have a chance to put another team away when we're in the red zone. We got to make sure we capitalize on those opportunities. So that's what we're going to be working on this week, talking about those things and carrying them over into next week. Because this is going to be our last non-district game, and then the next week the games they're going to start counting for the playoffs. We got to get that stuff really lined out.
Nice to go ahead and return home after being on the road last week.
Yeah, it'll be good. We got our homecoming game versus Boswell coming up. Boswell's a good program. We've played them most years I've been at Haltom. They've been on our schedule either in district or non-district, so we're looking forward to getting them at home with the fact.
All right, so Boswell coming in here, also 0-2 this game. So obviously both the teams coming in hungry for wins at this rate. Boswell coming off a 13-point loss to Saginaw, loss to Braswell only by 4 the week prior. Talk a little bit about this game and what challenges Boswell presents coming in.
Boswell, they always play good fundamental football. They're really good on defense. They don't do a lot of flashy things on defense typically, but they line up, they play hard. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. They're a physical team. Offensively, they're a spread team. They're in one back sets, 4 wide receiver sets most of the time. Their running back is really good. They've got all 4 of their receivers are threats. They're number 2 in their receiving core. He is really good. They move him around. They really like to try to get him the ball in space. He's going to be a challenge for us. And I expect them coming in hungry. I know last week they played Saginaw, one of their rivals, and I'm watching the film on that, and they might be thinking like we did last week, that they had some mistakes here and there, and they kind of maybe let one slip away. So, it's got I expect it to be a good game.
What's one thing that you really want to take? Obviously, you talked about the turnover battle early on. Is it winning the turnover battle? Is that maybe one of the top priorities going into this game?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. And, one way, we talk to the offensive kids, we kind of get them to chuckle a little bit when we say this, is that if we don't turn the ball over at all, we're at least going to tie the turnover battle. So, we tell the offensive kids that, and then we tell the defensive kids, hey, we don't need to make them punt if we can force a turnover. So, the one thing that matters is the ball. So, we talk about if you're the second and third guy to the tackle, let's try to strip the ball when the ball's in the air. If you've got a chance to go get the ball, let's go get the ball. We really want to focus on that this week. We did get the one turnover last week, but we had a few more opportunities than week one. So I do see some signs there that it's coming, but we've got to make it happen.
Now, Coach, I know you're busy today here, but did you have a chance to see any of the Cowboys' 33-17 win over Cleveland? Is there anything that you could take out of that game and apply to this Friday's game against Boswell?
Actually, I did not watch any of the game yet. I used to try to not know what the score is when I was at work until I got home, but about 5 years ago, I stopped caring about that. So typically if they win, I'll go home and watch it real quick. If they lose, I don't bother watching it. That's kind of how I've helped my own mental sanity as a Cowboys fan. So.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I didn't spoil it for you.
No, you didn't.
Okay, very good.
You didn't. Some of the assistant coaches already told me, so no problem.
All right,
at all.
Coach.
I know Dak's awful happy. He's highest paid guy and 1-0 right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not in a bad world right now, especially now 1-0 with all that money coming to him. No, not a bad place to be at this point here.
Good place to be.
How about in the landscape of college football yesterday? Did you have a chance to watch any of the film where Texas went into Ann Arbor and took the Wolverines to the whooping shed yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't see that game. Sometimes when we get home from Saturday, we're usually done about noon to 1 o'clock from breaking film down, watching film with the kids, and then I'll be honest, I fell asleep. I did wake up and watch Colorado and Nebraska though. So
okay, very very good. Go Big Red.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Any other final thoughts going into this Friday's week against the Boswell Pioneer?
No, if you're out there watching, come out to the FAC and watch us against Boswell. I think our kids are playing hard. I cannot fault our kids' effort. We're playing hard. We're playing physical. We just got to get a little more consistent, get some of these mistakes out of our system, and we're going to get a win.
All right, Coach Tucker, very much appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to talking to this week as we lead into the homecoming game versus Boswell.
All right, appreciate you.
Awesome.
This is the Buffalo Broadcast Texas High School Athletics Coaching Show.
Please, it'll just take a minute.
Coach, I'm trying.
Because if you can't do, teach. And if you can't teach phys ed.
Special teams, go with Forrest Fran, do some laps.
The way to do it, get out of yard.